Welcome everybody, welcome everyone, wherever you're watching us from. Welcome to the Unleashed. Welcome. Please share the broadcast. We are here now. Please share the broadcast. Tell us if you're also audible. Just comment, put your comment in the comment section. If you can hear us, can you hear us loud and clear so that we can be able to make sure that this conversation we're going to have today is going to benefit someone. But share the link. Welcome to the Unleashed. Our first, this is a special episode, one for the year, and I'm excited that even our guest is in the house. I'm excited, and I know that today we are going to really learn a lot. I believe we're going to be having a conversation, and we are so excited, and we believe that you're also going to participate with us in this conversation. But for the meantime, just share the link. In the next minute, we'll be starting. Share the link, invite your friends, invite if you've got siblings, if you've got parents, invite them so that we can be able to have this discussion together and learn from each other. Share the link. Welcome to our first episode of the Pacesetters Dialogue, a program that is under the Unleashed network with Ambassador Chris, and I believe that through this initiative you're able to have some of these conversations probably that at times are difficult to have. So please share the link. You can also tell us where you're watching us from. We are in different places. I believe we are streaming to people who are watching us from different places. Tell us where you're watching us from. Tell us where you're watching us from. As we begin, powerful. People coming in, please comment, share the link to invite your friends. Share the link. We are live, our first episode in our online podcast, first episode of the year. I'm excited. And before we go into the formal introductions, I've got a special guest in the studio today, all the way from Zimbabwe, Harare, Mr. Munyaradzi, Zindi, Chikomba. Welcome, say.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very happy and very excited for this wonderful program.
Perfect. I hope our audience are also ready today, and we can't wait also to really note down some of the critical this critical topic, which we believe. That's why we had to begin with this topic, because we know most students wrote their examinations, and they're kind of thinking, it at a point whereby people that at that point whereby they are thinking and they ask themselves, where should I go? What's next? So it's really an important topic that we bring it, especially at this time of the year, because I know that there are a lot of students, a lot of young people out there who are also in that dilemma. They ask themselves, so what's next? What after this? Maybe they did well in their academic, probably they did not do well, but they ask themselves, what's next? We are trying to navigate life, in different, also in different contexts. Someone is in Zimbabwe, someone is in South Africa, someone is in the USA, someone is in the UK, all over the world. And the question is, now I'm done with, I've got my high school diploma. What's next? So today I've got I've got a brother of mine. We met some years back, and I'm so excited to bring him today. You remember the YLDP? It was by Super Council of Churches. That was our first meetup, and really shout out to ZCC for that. These are some of the products of that engagement. We then networked, and now years later we are having these conversations now. So without further ado, we're going to begin, and As I said, I've got a special guest with us, Munyaradzi Chikomba, and I'm going just going to give him a minute just to introduce himself to us. Who is he? Where is he coming from? And then we begin with our conversation today. Mr. Munyaradzi.
Thank you, Ambassador. So my name is Munyaradzi. I'm working live from Zimbabwe in Africa. It is a great pleasure to be here. So what I do basically, I work with young people. Mainly we focus on youth economy and community development initiatives. Our main thrust in young people, and we focus on education, empowerment, we focus on young people, so they may be innovative, so that they may be able to profit solutions, challenges they are facing. And I'm a co-founder of Indigo Foundation. Indigo Foundation is all about youth empowerment issues that is affecting young people. And mainly, we encourage young people to pursue education in various forms, and their form education, also in the form of education in the 21st century. We also encourage young people to be innovative in whatever they do, so that they will be drivers of change that they may want to see in the world. So basically, by and large, I'm just a young person who is more passionate about also helping and assisting and also being part of the young people movement that are change in this world.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. And I'm loving that. One thing that really inspires me and that also makes me keep going is there's no there's a saying that says the future is not something in a distant future. The future is now. So when I'm talking to you, one thing that is that I'm talking to a present leader, a present, a future leader. And when we have such a leader who is doing so much in the community, it's something that is commendable, especially this done by young people that are taking charge of their community and bring some solutions of some of the challenges that our communities are going through. So let me applaud you, Mr. Munya, for such a good work that you're doing with Chanduko. We saw you, I think, last time when I was following you, having programs in Mavuku. Maybe you can share with us what maybe some people they don't know what is Mavuku. Maybe I've got someone who's watching. Okay, Zimbabwe, but I've seen you doing things in some of the communities that probably some people tend to neglect. When people get there, they get educated, they move out of their communities, and then they're out there. They forget some of the of the community that they came from. But I've been seeing you doing things, some of the programs with young people in that community. Maybe you can share with us that background of what you're doing there. Yeah.
So basically, like I said, Chanduko Foundation is a driving force behind everything. As a co-founder, we have been doing a lot of things trying to change the community, because Mabuku community, Mabuku Tafara community is a community that is in lay language in the ghetto. It's a ghetto. When you are talking maybe in the United States language, we are talking of maybe the Bronx or something like
Yeah.
so that it is a place where everything is so fast. There are a lot of challenges, and as we grew, we also experienced those challenges. The issues of unemployment, the issues of drug abuse, the issues of everything negative associated with identity, Sebas, the place where we call the ghetto. So we say to ourselves as young people, what can we do? And me and my other two friends, we decided to form an association. That by the end of an association, it was just something where we would gather, discuss ideas, and suggest solutions. But at the end of the day, we said that discussions aren't enough. So what can we, what we said, what can we do to further going into deeper to make sure that our solutions that we are trying to discuss, we can also implement them. That's when we decided to formally register an organization. That was in 2020. So we have been doing anti-drug campaigns, we've been moving schools, we have been going to national television, national radio, spreading the word, because we also believe that advocacy, sometimes information has to reach the community. So advocacy plays a key role in whatever that we do, because we operate in Maputo right now, but there's someone maybe who is in Bulawayo, who is in Kenya, who is in Australia, by advocacy, like what we're doing. Someone here. So there are a lot of things that we've been doing. We also go to orphanages. We also help young people who are underprivileged, who are facing challenges. Maybe this is school fees, this is material, the food stuff. So we have been doing a lot, and we have also been recognized by the Ministry of Social Welfare as the top 100 charitable initiatives in Angola in 2022. And we also shortlisted for the International Award in London for the work that we are doing in the community. So by and large, we have been doing a lot. I can spend days. It's something that I'm passionate talking about the foundation. Today, I believe many people are here for the topic. Tentacle Foundation is doing well, and we are continuing to do more, and we expect to be growing every day. So I think by and large, that is something important that we had to do.
Wow, 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 wow. That's why I said it's something that when I look at that work that you guys are doing in the community, despite you can also maybe agree with me that sometimes some of these things they need resources for them to happen. You need the things that are happening, and I believe sometimes there's a time where probably you're forced to even fork out from own pocket, the response of these things. And let me really applaud of what you're doing as young people in Mavuku community in Zimbabwe. And you're right, it's the neighborhood whereby, sometimes people when they move out, they leave those things, but you went further and went on to really trying to bring a change, even with some even few resources that we have or those things. But now let's come to our conversation today. That we're flighting and I loved how people respond to that because it's something now the world is changing, economies are changing, the socio-economic structures are changing, and at the end of the day, when we come to education, when it comes to things are also shifting, things are also changing. But now the topic or that we're discussing today is on the aspect of young people, especially who are navigating from high school and now probably they've got their high school diploma, probably they've matriculated, probably all those things. And now they are faced with the world now. They are faced with the decision. There's a dilemma now. Okay, where should I go? And you know what, Munya? When I was preparing for this, I was asking myself that now we have about 4 students or 4 young people that we have. The first young person that we have probably is one probably who wrote maybe the examination, be it their high school diploma, be it in Zimbabwe they call it a level, in South Africa they matriculated, all those things. And probably they felt they did not manage to get what was required, right? Or the standard of what is required for you to say that you've matriculated or you've graduated or to get a high school diploma. Then that's the first one that we have. The second one probably the subjects or the course that they're taking, probably they wrote those courses and probably they did not perform very well, right? They passed, but they did not perform very well. Probably they were focused on the STEM side of things, and then they did not get necessary passes that are required for you to then go further. So if that second a young person or a student that we have, then the third one is probably they passed. Okay, they straight A's, they did it, but they still have a dilemma now because things are changing. They still have a dilemma, things are changing. And the last one is probably they did not even went into the exam room. But probably this last person probably is so good, not in academic things, but they is so good in terms of sport, arts, or they are good in terms of dramas, or they are good in terms of arts plays. They're so good. They're so good. But so we have all these 4 types, and they are facing the world now. After they are facing the world now, and we want to start our conversation from that in terms of what are some common misconceptions that are happening. But before we go into the first question, I want us to just deliberate on these 4 people that we have. Do you have? Is this something that is there, or maybe I'm just it's something that I'm just creating? Do we have these 4 young people that we have? These 4 categories.
Yeah, definitely. this is reality that you have mentioned. And yeah, we experience this each and every day. So usually we go into school, we interact with young people. Some have passed, some have failed, some have not even sit for the exams. Some they are not sure, they don't even have a clue of what they should do, but they have passed exceptionally well. They don't have a clue of what they should do. So truthfully speaking, we are also speaking truth that this is a reality that we are living in today. Many young people are very confused of what they should do, and we also have that phenomenon of traditional belief versus modern day belief.
Yeah, yeah.
Because our parents believe that just go to school, finish school, find a career, spend 60, 40 or something else in that career.
Mhm.
Yeah, but in the 21st century, I would like to say, I believe that that is something from the past. In the 21st century, people change careers very fast, and also careers change. Right now, they are saying that the jobs of the future, some of them, most of them, they do not even exist. They say 80% of the jobs of the future right now, they don't even exist. So we don't know what's coming. So young people sometimes they are afraid in terms of their careers. So I'm also someone who switched careers. I was in the banking, marketing, doing as a young kid, I really liked working in the bank because in Zimbabwe, the tallest building is the Reserve Bank. So when I was growing up, I just used to ask, what do they do there? So they used to say that it's a bank. So I really had this passion to work in a bank. And fortunately enough, I did that. I've worked in two banks, but I switched my career. Right now, I'm working in the NGO, civic spaces, being a leader, a community leader. So it is something that is happening, and we really need to delve much into the traditional beliefs versus the modern day beliefs. The pressure that comes probably from our parents. Maybe you're fast. They want you to pursue the conventional careers like the doctors, your accountants, your lawyers. But sometimes maybe you are not in tune with that. You are not feeling that you should be a doctor. You maybe are feeling that you should be an artist. There's also so many careers that are in the 21st century, being a YouTuber, etc. So young people are very, very, very stressed and pressed with this dilemma of choosing. So the first point I would like to make today is that sometimes, especially in the 21st century, you don't have to have all figured it out to say, I know what I want to do because things will change. And I've also realized that 5 years before, let's say in 2020, the things that I was passionate about, they have changed. As you grow, your passion changes because sometimes passion is something that is built on something that you are good at. If you see that you are good at maybe a thing, you start to develop a passion for it. And sometimes there are certain things that we haven't experienced with young people. I never knew that I liked traveling, but the day I started traveling, I went to certain places. That's when I started to know that I like traveling. So you don't have to have all figured out to say, I'll do nursing, I'll be a nurse for the rest of my life. You just have to show yourself out there in the world, navigate things, explore the things that you like, and out of those things, when you explore those things that you like, you start to realize maybe you like ABCD. Then narrow those things to say, how best can I make a career out of the things I like? And also being in tune with the reality and the demographics in the region that you are in. Because sometimes what is relevant in Zimbabwe may not be necessarily be relevant in Europe, in America. The things that matter here may not be necessarily mattering in other regions. So you have to also study the background of the place that you are in. As for me, I saw that Mabuku Tafara is challenges that you A to C. And these are the challenges that you are answering. But maybe wherever you are watching us from, they are not experiencing those challenges. So you will see that um, you would try maybe to copy me, but the place that you are in, the things that I'm doing in Mabukuta Farm mean nothing to wherever you are. So you also have to study your environment to say, what is it that I can relate more with the people around me and try to make a career out of it. Maybe there's a lot of diseases. There's a chance to be a doctor, there's a chance to be a nurse, there's a chance to be a health support worker or something. So young people, what I just want to say is that you don't have to know it all. Be exploring, discover new things, discover what you can do, your passion, the things that makes you more. Because if we are watching now, someone will be saying, there is no light. That may be a indication that this person could be maybe a designer or an administrator. The things that move you. When you hear the news, what are the topics that you listen to? What are the topics that resonate with your mentality, with your feelings? Those are the indications of saying these are the things that maybe you must pursue.
I love how you are bringing all those things, and I'm going to take note of something that you, as a follow-up, as we build up our conversation. As I said, you were mentioning about the aspect that passions change. As you're growing up, right? Things change. Maybe when in your first year in high school, you were dreaming of becoming someone else, and then circumstances changes, or maybe you're now want to change. And probably I think it's because of the system. One thing that I've learned, and I wanted to share this with you, and even with the viewers or who are watching us, that I've discovered that in different countries, there are different systems of education or systems of how sometimes these careers are navigated. Back home, it's the conventional type, right? Because maybe it's the system that you inherited. You are supposed to be, a pilot. You are supposed to be a doctor, a lawyer. It's something that there's a certain ring to it where you say, or when your parents are saying, oh, my son is a doctor, or my daughter is a lawyer, all those things, or is a pilot. There's a certain prestige or certain that comes with that. And I think those are some of the things that now leaves young people at a dilemma, whereby they're thinking themselves, okay, so all right, I'm supposed to be a doctor. What? Maybe they don't have a passion for being a doctor, or maybe I'm supposed to be a pilot. What? They don't have a passion for that. So I think you bring all those things, that there's a dilemma now that we have, especially when we're talking about a young person who's graduating from high school. They're still they're still under, most of them are still under the care of parents, the take of the parents. You get the point. And that's why the conflict comes out now. That the parents say, oh, you are supposed to be an engineer because and there's one that I want to also be honest. Yes, those jobs, yes, if you get those jobs, you can get paid more. But now the difference about it is being paid more and also being miserable. That the people that are doctors, but they don't enjoy the paycheck is coming, but they don't even, if you see, they don't have that calling. But some of these professions, they have a certain calling to it. You feel this person is good, it's like it sinks, it sinks, it sinks. And then sometimes you see, yes, this person really came to this profession willingly, or they were pushed into that. So end of the day, as a lead, one of the things that we are also trying to transform futures, and it is the thing that we make now that to determine. And I think some of the things that you raise us probably I've answered one of our first questions about some misconceptions, right, that are around the issues of career, the issues of, and now one of the things that is also coming is also the idea of skills. The world is changing into from a bookish into a skill-based approach. And I was listening to your last interview that you had on radio, and you also brought this into the conversation that now getting a degree or PhD, or most of those things, but there's also now the inception of a skills-based approach to when someone is being developed, is supposed to be have those skills, be it carpentry, I don't know, all those things. Maybe you can also shed more light on that aspect of the genesis of skills. Yes, Beck, I think the aspect of you have a degree or masters or it a lot of No. Those that certain weight, but now you talked about vocational training centers that are being established, polytechnics that are coming to play, that are teaching those sort of those. Maybe you can shed more light on that.
Okay, so this is a global platform. So maybe let me start with the few statistics. According to the World Economic Forum, it is saying that by 2025, 50% of all the employees need reskilling due to technology. So as a young person today, you need to be constantly reskilling yourself. You have the degree, you have your master's, but you have to be reskilling yourself each and every day. If you are spending the whole year using the same CV with the same information, I have bad news for you. You are slowly becoming outdated because the amount of information, the amount of tools that are out there in the world today, they need us to be constantly reskilling ourselves. And as we also mentioned the issues of polytechnic. According to the Federal Ministry of Education and Research in Germany, they are implementing what they call the dual education system. This is a education system that is combining apprenticeship and vocational schooling. And 53% of the population currently are choosing this way because the world nowadays, you can start your own things and thrive. And the millennials and the generation, they are choosing that path to say because we have seen that many people doing it. We've seen Mark Zuckerberg, we've seen here in Africa, we've seen Stripe materials doing it. So a lot of young people are very interested in entrepreneurship. There's another way we can also establish our own careers or being us being the masters of where we want to go. And apprenticeship here in Zimbabwe, it is a system whereby you get to learn whilst you are already being employed maybe in a certain industry. They're already teaching you the skills and they're already paying you. And after that, you then be put in the system and being a worker for that company. That's also another way of establishing a great career. In Switzerland, 98% opt for vocational training. And that is also giving them a very low unemployment rate of 2.3%. That's according to the World Bank 2023. So as the world evolves, we've seen that we need to broaden our mindset and see the bigger picture. Because sometimes, yes, you can go and get that degree, but you spend 10 years, the 10 prime years of your working ability doing nothing. But there are also avenues of apprenticeship, polytechnic, because this world requires people who are able to solve the problems. You have to be able to solve problems at the end of it. So as we go into the world, to everyone, to the young people who are listening, who are going to listen, I also encourage you to look into apprenticeship, to look into vocational training, and to look into other avenues of establishing your own careers, not just the conventional way. Not to say the conventional ways are wrong or anything, but we also have to be as wide as much as we can so that we may be able to find the best possible solution to the challenges that we are facing today.
I love that. So, and I think we're coming back to that. Anyway, we're saying things are changing and things are shifting, and if you don't pay attention to that, you become redundant. At the same time. But now, as you move, also, I want also to maybe bring this now, that this is what we have, right? This is the reality. We are living, for instance, we're living in the age of the global village, the AI revolution that is taking place, right? It's taking place, and you cannot run away from that. It's taking place. At one time in the US, we're listening to Elon Musk bring things, some of these things, the AI technology, where we are going. And I was asking, so if there are people that are still, what's their stake in the future that we're going on? And I have already we brought that reskilling, sometimes trying to make sure that the path that you're taking is relevant to what is needed in the future. But also maybe to get into also this question, we have we talked about the reskilling, but I told you that there's also a category. We have a category of a certain young person. Probably they are not even good in terms of the technical or even the conventional academic aspect, in terms of the skills. For them to go back to school, they don't want. They are not to school. They are not. They've already said, this is not my thing. Probably this category is has got young people that are good in sport. They are good in art. They are good. They are so good. They are so good. They are so good. You know. And one thing that I've learned, especially this side, is how they appreciate art. I didn't know that. I thought probably, the way they appreciate art, and you're going to also, if you go into our history, some of the people that are authentic with their art, design art, they really excelled, especially when they go outside, even if they host programs there. People, they appreciate art, they appreciate that. But back at home, sometimes doing that art is like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? You get the point.
Yeah.
So we also have this. They've done the high school. Yes, they went to Form 4 or matriculated to a diploma, but school is not for them. What they have is the talent. What then should they? How can they be? How can they navigate? How can they navigate? Maybe they are good in music. They are good in art. That's what they know. We can't just go tell them go and learn a skill or what. Can you shed more light on that?
As much as I like education, I'm a big fan of music. I'm a big fan of sport. So I really value those things because if you look there in the States, the NBA, they are saying it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, meaning people are earning, they are providing for their families through that. Here in Africa, we have artist called Custom. He dropped out of high school at the age of 16, but today he's one of the most successful artists in Africa. He's a millionaire, he's doing good, and we have to appreciate, and especially here in Africa, our art industry is on the rise. They are saying that in the next 10 years, Africa will be sort of like the capital of world entertainment. So this is an industry that is emerging. And young people need to grab these opportunities because a lot of money will be made. So maybe you're good at art, you're good at sport. There's nothing wrong with that. One thing that you have to work is twice as hard because now this is a competitive industry. You are measured by the amount of success. If you're an athlete, you have to be number one, two, or three at the Olympics for you to be successful, to say maybe I've succeeded in my career that I'm pursuing. So you have to work very hard because for you to be the best in the world, there are a lot of people who are talented in that respect. So you have to be very, 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 very passionate about what you're doing. Invest a lot of energy, invest a lot of resources. That's also another thing that we have to look into in these careers, the music, the sport, the art. There's also a lot of resources that are needed for you to succeed. Because maybe you're good at singing, but your music is not going out there in the world. There's a lot of marketing that happens, especially in the music industry, so that you may be known. So you have to be aware of all these things. That's why they now do those things, sign record label, so that this record label can do the marketing and all those things for you when you just make your music. So at the end of the day, you just have to be knowledgeable about the path that you're trying to take. I recently saw that the three young men from Zimbabwe who were running in the state, and it was, I think, the 60 meters indoors, the number one and three, they were Zimbabweans, and I was very happy because in the Olympics, we had two young people who were representing Zimbabwe who went into the 200 meters final of the Olympics. So it is something that can be done, but you just have to know the avenue, especially if you are in the athletics and sports field. Uh, Many people here from Africa go to the States through the scholarships initiatives with different universities. And when you are there in the state, there are more chances of you being noticed, and there are better facilities, better coaching, better technology there than here. So these are the things that now these young people have to know, because without knowledge now, without the connections and without the right people, you can be very good, but you can be good at your home, moving nowhere. So we also have to invest in whatever that talent that you have. I believe that as long as you are putting yourself out there in the world, doing the right thing, putting in the work, no matter which career you are, I believe you can succeed and you can do exceptionally well and you can represent yourself, your family, your city, your nation, and go to the world stage. As you're saying, you can now a global economy. Some people have made careers maybe out of TikTok. They just posting videos maybe in Brazil, and the whole world now they are knowing them. I saw this young man. He's saying he's the highest paid TikToker in the world. He's being paid 20 something million a year just by posting videos in TikTok. So these are also careers that someone can actually make a living. So we don't just have to discourage people to say, you're not do it. Let us just try to encourage these young people to pursue and navigate and see what is in store for them in their future.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Munya. Thank you so much for that submission. Uh, and you brought something that I was just is I think after COVID, we had to go through a revolution of certain things, and the genesis
Yeah,
of TikTok and
yeah,
a new career on its own, like people, bloggers, all those things, bloggers coming in the fold, and it's so some people right now they are now earning even more than people that are in offices and all those things.
yeah.
And I think in our next episode we're going to be able also to be able to have a discussion on that. Is this sustainable? Should we need to be able to look at those things because after the COVID it
Mm.
seems like something. I know in Zimbabwe, some people you see them saying, "Oh, yeah, they're earning 1,000, they Maui 5,000." And it's and I think we really need to really need to know more about that and see because these are some of the things that are changing as we're moving on. But now, as we are running out of time, and we're moving. Munya, I also want to say, okay, we have people right that have already made decisions. They already maybe I have enrolled in my accounting degree. I love accounting. Is what should I quit and say okay I'm going to leave my accounting degree and I'm going to find what should I do because I'm already enrolled. What should I do? Should I quit? What sort of advice would you also submit on that one?
This is a real life situation. I have a young girl that I mentor young. She was an A student, very good in school, in her A level, and she said she wanted to pursue a certain career. And I encouraged her to take what we call that gap year. Not say when you finish your high school, you can maybe wait for 6 months or a year, exploring yourself, trying to figure out who you are as a person. Because there are things that we wish to do when we are in school, maybe because there was influence of our teachers, etc. So she enrolled straight, like in Zimbabwe, the results come out maybe in January, February. And in March, she was already at university. Right now, she's in a fourth year. And I recently had a conversation with her. She was saying, I regret enrolling uh, for this course. I wasted it's 2 years, parents' money. I'm no longer interested in this thing. So it's a real life situation. But at the end of the day, I believe if you have enrolled already, you must be someone who is willing to finish what they start. Maybe you are left with 1 year, just finish. After finishing, you can now make that decision to say, um, okay, I've done this, I'm now qualified for this. You can maybe go to work for that, but at the same time, building that new passion, that new drive that you've discovered. That is the phenomenon of 8 to 5. After 8 to 5, you can now use the time to build. Because it's not easy to transition from one career to another. Like I have said, I moved from the marketing banking thing going into the NGO sector. It takes time for you to actually start moving because at the end of the day, the reality is we have to put food on the table. Actually, most of us we have to put food on the table. So sometimes that is a phenomenon of saying passion doesn't pay bills at the end of the day. So as much as you're trying to pursue your passion, you have to be realistic about it. To say I should build this thing that I'm passionate about until it maybe starts being sustainable. Because you may spend 5 years without even getting $1 from the things that you say you love. So when you don't have money, you start to be uninspired. You start to lose hope with those things. You say, did I make the right decision? So my encouragement is, if you are feeling that maybe you made the wrong choice, at least finish that degree or that course or that whatever they say. And at the end of the day, when you maybe have free time, start to build your passion. You don't just wake up and say, I don't want to do this. Maybe it might work, but the greater population or the many of us, 9 out of 10 chances, you definitely face hardship. And hardship, especially in this modern day world, this 21st century, they will tear you down. They will they will make you start to doubt yourself, to say, can I do this? Because actually, pursuing your passion is something that is really hard because there are lonely days. There are days where you have no dollar, but you are investing in that passion, in that in the things, in that purpose. Like you were saying, the Shandiko Foundation thing that we do. Sometimes we put our money and I am now limiting myself to do maybe other things, even in family, because I'm investing in this thing that I love and that I see that it will pay dividends, maybe in the near future. So yes, it is a reality. Maybe sometimes you will be feeling that you made the wrong choice, but at the end of the day, my advice, my personal advice is you must be able to finish things that you start. Because at the end of the day, everything I believe happens for a reason. Maybe you are there for a certain reason. Maybe you are studying medicine and they say you are feeling it's no longer something that you're interested in. You can finish that medicine. Maybe you can now start doing podcasting, advising people about the things that you learn in the medical school. And now you are now a podcaster, but you already have the knowledge. So maybe that knowledge you can also use it in the places or the things that you want to do. As for me, my marketing, I use it to put my brand out there, the Shandigo Foundation thing. I maybe I'm investing my marketing skills in the things that I now love to do. So I believe everything happens for a reason. Just finish and start exploring again. You navigate your way.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you thank you so much. And maybe as we conclude and conclude and beat up on that one, what do you think? What's your advice to parents? Because parents also have a part to play in these things. They've got a part to play. I'm the one who's paying the fees. You do what I say. You get the point. I'm the one who's paying. So what's also your encouragement advice that you also that can also be helpful also to guardians, parents, also especially in this matter for our fellow young people.
Um, I like the saying you yesterday. I like to watch the show America's Got Talent. One thing that I've discovered about America's Got Talent, most of the participants that come, they come with their passion. If you go and watch that show, you'll see that most of the participants that come to audition, they come either with a guardian or they have, we have to be supportive our kids to the things that they like, to the things that they want. Especially here in Africa, there's not that support from the parents and the guardians and the family. So we really have to develop that support of how let us support our kids. I'm someone who's very fortunate. My mom actually today is actually watching this festival. She's very supportive of the things that I do. This that support can act as a motivation. When I go to the radio, you say I'm not able to navigate this radio. Can you please leave the radio in the channel that you are going to be on? So we have to be very supportive. That gives me so much motivation personally. So to every parent that is watching, that is going to watch maybe in a new season, my encouragement is let us be supportive of our kids. Yes, you need to provide guidance to them. Maybe they are they are just dreaming of things. Maybe that may not be attainable. But at the same time, let us be supportive. Let us be there to do our research on the things that the kids like, because that passion, it is something I believe as a Christian, that God seeded in them. Whatever belief that you have, it is the supernatural power of the higher being that invested that talent or that passion in that kid. And your responsibility is to water it so that it may germinate and start to bear fruit.
Hmm. Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I believe to parents and guardians that are watching this, they are able also to really take note of this and also be able to try to really nurture and guide young people. Because a lot of times that's where the dilemma is, and usually it ends up someone blaming the other. You forced me to do this, and I believe, and also I believe one thing that you also raised about gap years, having conversations with your kids. Okay, what do you think? Okay, let them have that conversation, right? You might have probably ideas, but this is kind of good. Let that conversation be there, between a child and a parent, especially when it comes to decisions and choices of career, choice of life, all those things. They must that conversation, an open conversation. Do you love this? I don't love this. Okay, probably. Can you try? Or all those things. So I believe that can also help to really have that conversation. But I don't want to thank you, Munya, for all these submissions. This was a conversation. As I said, we take a lot of things, and it's a broad subject. A broad subject with a lot of things that are happening, and those things are happening. They're evolving each and every. Tomorrow, things are changing in the job market. Things are changing, and things change. So I really want to appreciate. And I believe some of these contributions, some of these submissions that you also brought in are going to be also instrumental, especially for young people as they navigate after from this. And maybe the last thing, maybe the last takeaway is right now, you raise the issue of gap years. What are the things? What are the two things that you think high school students that are graduating from high school should also do before they get into whatever they want? What do you think also they can also, even one or two things that you think on top of a gap, if you can think of doing a gap year to explore your options? What are the things you feel also they can also try to one or two things before we close?
One thing that I really encourage young people to do in their gap years, in their spare time, try to volunteer, try to look for the things that interest you. Volunteering is offering you time, your passion, everything. To say, I'm offering myself to this cause. And when you volunteer, you get to discover certain things, you get to get experience, you get to have the connection, that's networking, and you get to experience what it is to be in the real world. And that is a very fundamental thing to do. As for me, how I became so involved in the NGO, in the youth, in the community development, I volunteered to sit in organization. And I started to see so many things that I didn't know about myself. So in those videos, I encourage young people to volunteer, find something that interests you. It might be sport, it might be it might be anything, it might be art, it might be community issues, it might be fashion. Just try to put yourself out there in the world and have first-hand experience of the things that maybe you feel you want to do for the rest of your life, and see, does it really entail and that does it really entail you, and does it really move you to feel that if I can do this for the rest of my life, do I not look back in my deathbed and say I wasted my life doing things that I didn't like? So volunteering, I really encourage that to young people. Let us explore, because maybe you may not have the opportunity to maybe go to work, but by volunteering, you're not being paid, but you are also benefiting directly as an individual. So that's one thing that I really encourage young people.
Thank you so much, May. And the aspect of volunteering you are raising, when I came here, I discovered it's something that is huge here, usually here in America. Volunteering is something that they really value. Volunteering in the community, and it's some of this subject that you also bring that as you're navigating your career option as a young person, consider if it's a gap year, yes, to explore your options. Ask for volunteering. Find areas that you can be able to discover yourself. And at most of the time that you'll be doing those volunteering, you'll be able to discover who you are, discover some of your strengths that you didn't even know that you possessed. So I feel like what you're bringing also is part and parcel of what I believe young people out there that have finished their high school diplomas that are trying to navigate. We said there are 4 categories. As we said, we have 4 categories. Someone who passed very well, someone who didn't do well, someone who's not even academically gifted, but also these options that are there. And through this session, we're able to really trying to touch all those aspects and trying to also to bring some of the things that young people can benefit from. And before we close this, some of these submissions that we're having, these are not final submissions. No, this is just a tip of some of the conversations that I believe out there we're having with our children about career options, and also what they're also seeing it around what's surrounding them. So this is just us starting this conversation, and we also encourage and welcome even other submissions pertaining to this topic, because things are changing and young people at the present and at the future, and we need to make sure that when we are guiding them and when we are having these conversations, they're also guided with what is happening. So I really want to thank you so much, those who joined. Also one of let me call it a community champion, Jennifer Chambers, all the way from the UK. Thank you so much for joining. And one thing that I love about it is he's one of the people that also brings these conversations. And I want to thank you so much for what you're doing to the community, and to those who also joined in, and those who are going to watch even this podcast. This is where we are, what we're talking about, navigating. A lot of young people out there, they are just looking for, they're in a dilemma, in confusion. What should I do? This what's trending? Should I go for this? Should I go? Oh no, this is not going. And at that point of time, they really need guidance, and they really need also some of these conversations to be able to start to help them in terms of making decisions of, okay, let me do that, let me do this. But I want to thank you so much. It has been an hour. I'm saying on my watch, it is an hour of the conversation. And to those who are going to be watching this podcast, please go through. We're going to be also sending snapshots of this conversation to all our young people. If you get this video, please share with your sibling, maybe it's your young brother, your young sister, your young nephew, your young niece, who's also in that place where they're asking, but I don't like to do this. I want to do this. I'm not yet decided. Some of these submissions will also help. But over and all, thank you so much, Munya. Thank you so much for coming into this conversation. I really appreciate what you're doing, Mavuku. I will say this. Heads off to Shanduko. They're in the ghetto. You're doing great work in the community in Mavuku to help those young people in terms of bringing some of these things that they cannot, sometimes you have to pay for these things, but you guys, you are really doing a great work there. Thank you very much. All our viewers watching us, this is the end of our first session of podcast. Wait for the second episode. The second episode that's coming through it's a series, or we are going to be having this conversation. In our next episode, we are going to be touching on career and finances. Those things, that debate, this is good, man, this, those things. And we are going to be able to discuss. But for now, thank you so much for joining in. It's Cheers for us.